99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to you, Lagos. It's 7:30 from our studios here. How are you doing today? Welcome to Dailies today, the second part. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
I'm Jimi Disu. If my voice gets croaky at some point, I apologize. I haven't slept all night. I was watching the debates, the American presidency debate. And the way it's going, it looks as if Biden might be asked by his party to step down. Somewhere along the line, he even lost his memory. It was a terrible performance. In the case of Trump, it was said that close to 80% of whatever he said, the fact checkers say were false. So America is in a very bad place now. But it also brought to mind the need in 2027 for us to have to insist. I don't know how we're going to get that done, to insist that before you want to lead this country, you must debate. You can see where we are now. We're caught by surprise. I wasn't caught by surprise, but a lot of you claim to have been caught by surprise, that debates are very essential. The other thing I also want you to take note of is this quiet, Sheriff,
Yes,
one
sir.
second, this quiet thing that is going around about 6 years tenure for a president. Okay, have you seen that? Heard of that?
It's been
Yes. Now, I hope that it is not a plan that you would say that if it gets approved, then the current incumbent will be what do you call it now? Will qualify to run again for another one term of 6 years, meaning the gentleman will have been president for 10 years. When these things crop up, you need to look at them critically and nip them in the bud. But that's just one of the few comments I just said. Let me just let you know. So if I fall asleep during this program, Sheriff, just tap me away.
Welcome to the show. You can watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can be a part of it on Facebook and on YouTube. We're going to start with a story here. On page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper, minimum wage, let each state negotiate what it can pay governors.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. In any case, the minimum wage is only sacrosanct to the point that it's the minimum. It doesn't mean that you're not open to negotiations, either parastatals or whatever. My thinking, even though former Governor Fashola gave a very legal, put up a very legal argument about what minimum wage and minimum salary should be, but I think the way it's planted in people's heads, it means that the minimum wage would be the minimum that you'd be expected to pay anybody. So I have no problem with and I don't think anybody will have a problem with each governor deciding how he wants to treat his own citizens. I mean, as we speak, correct me if I'm wrong, Sheriff, Edo pays 70,000.
True.
Yes, Edo pays 70,000 because the truth is the cost of living index in the states differ. You can't in reality pay somebody who works in Lagos the same salary as you are paying somebody who works in Osun State. That would be most unfair, which means that the civil servants in Lagos should be getting ready to get a very robust. We need to pay I'm one of those who believe that you must pay people a living wage. If you don't pay people a living wage, you are pushing them, beg, borrow, or steal. If they have responsibilities to meet, they have to meet it. With the kind of salaries that we pay in the public sector, I'm not talking of political office holders. I don't think the last time I checked, I don't think a permanent secretary on his honest day's pay can rent a flat in a place like Bode Thomas and send 2 of his 4 children to a private school, which is not too much to ask for a permanent secretary. Back in the day, what you found that people thought that children of civil servants were rich. No, is that there were so many cushions. You had car loan, then you had official car. Usually you have 2. So one will be taking them to school. That immediately turns that child into the son of rich parents, which is not the case. Most likely they will be giving quarters in Ikoyi, and that's what those who were not opportuned, they now think that everything is just about money. No, that's not the way it goes. People want to kill themselves just to live in Ikoyi. There's nothing spectacular about it. It's all a mindset. It's all the mindset. Before I completely deviate, let me read the riders here. Tinubu, neck, silent on minimum wage. President not saying anything. There's a lot of things going around about how he wants to acquire his plane, but nothing is being said about the minimum wage. Public-private workers getting restive over delayed minimum wage. Labour. You see, the Labour now have been boxed into a corner. They now look ineffective. And that is because they haven't approached they haven't approached it with the kind of attitude and strategy one expects them to. I think there have been compromises along the way. So now there's a lull, you know. It is said here that people want Labour leaders to push for quick resolution, and they lament the hardship that has become unbearable with basic necessities no longer affordable. We are not happy with Tinubu's slow motion, Sano. I think a lot of people are not happy with Tinubu anyway. For whatever reasons, whatever excuses you might give, the fact is that since he became president, life has become unbearable. That's an undeniable fact. It has, and not just has it become unbearable, it has become seriously unbearable. You know, to the point now that you start experiencing pockets of starvation here and there. And what is most annoying about it all is that he's not showing a good example of leadership that is sensitive to the yearnings of the poor people. And that is very, very sad. Very, very sad.
I want to quickly just circle back on this minimum wage story just one last time. The governors are asking they be allowed to negotiate their own minimum wage. Essentially, they want to stylishly abolish national minimum wage. And their excuse is that the cost of living in their various states differ, so there shouldn't be any uniformity in minimum wage. Because some of them cannot even pay the minimum wage in the first instance. Is this the right way to go? Is this sustainable?
But they can wear these watches of $140,000. A governor in the southwest here was at Davido's wedding. The wristwatch he wore was said to be worth about $145,000. Who are they? It's up to Labour. You can't be doing these things and expect people to sit back and they will agree to make any sacrifice. You can put up an argument that you bought it yourself, but when you are a leader, certain things are expected of you. And like I always say, when that governor put that wristwatch on his hand, what did he think? What message did he think he was sending to the people? That I am rich and I'm a successful man, when all of us we know what I want, we know what happens to the cookie jar. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? In that same state, somebody who was just head of service one time, also we caught him out. He was wearing a wristwatch of $700 and something $1,000. Why do you want to do this as a government appointee? The lack of indiscipline and empathy for our leaders is mind-boggling. So governors should not come and tell us that kind of story. Throw away your security vote or whatever you call it, and stop putting your hands in the cookie jar. Then you'll be able to pay workers. So, Sheriff, and the truth is that I agree that you can't pay the same simply because the cost of living in different states, right. You can't pay the same. You can't pay a man who works even in Lagos the same as you pay the man who works in Abuja. But you must have a minimum.
That's right.
And workers should not backtrack on that minimum. When you now have the minimum, you see the workers themselves. I don't know this labor. You see examples right in front of you. Labor people, you are not supposed to be polite about these things. You should be able to point to the God. Look at what you are wearing here. You should, if you are not ready to do this thing, then. But I believe that all these unions have been compromised. You go negotiate minimum wage. You don't refer to what's going on in the National Assembly and put it as item 1 on the table. If you tell us you don't have enough money, how come these people are earning this? Let us see their job description. How come they are buying vehicle for 160 million and we can't even buy staff bus? These These are the kind of arguments you put forward when you go for these things. That's how it's done in other countries. You go there and start coming about you -2, -4, and you will do gas power. This you should be able. The other day, somebody you put up. He said if you need vehicles for over what do they call it now? Oversight function. Are you if all of you have jeeps of one, are you going to put all the jeeps if you are going from Abuja to the Kaduna refinery? Things that you need. The imbalance in incomes is the major problem that we have. Yet everybody runs away from it. Look at what you pay a judge. Look at what you pay a professor. They're equally important. Look at what you pay a doctor. But that's a story for another day. Let's go.
Let's move on to the next story.
Let's go to the next one.
Let's go take the next story. Page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Police probe death of ex-Conga boss Nick Imudia.
Oh, I was devastated yesterday because I know him. Yes, I've had him as my guest before. He was one of the bright young people that he was MD at that time of Conga. No, he was MD of Nokia. Yes, when I met him, he was MD and was a rising star. The story here says that he jumped from the balcony of his flat and died.
That's right.
I don't think that's the way suicide is committed. If it is, then it's going to enter the Guinness Book of Records about how suicide is. He jumped from where? Unless somebody tells me what floor it was. Because if you jump from your balcony, Nick is sensible enough to know that he would not have died. He would have ended up being a cripple. Yes. Do you understand? So I'm glad that the police are investigating. They are investigating. Said on Tuesday night, he jumped from the balcony of his Lekki apartment. Anybody who knows will know that even if you are jumping from the 5th or 6th floor, you are not likely to die when you hit the ground. It's very unlikely. You'll be battered, you could be in a coma, all kinds of things could be, but you are not likely to die. That's not the way. Nick is intelligent enough. If he wants to kill himself, he will know what to do. So, but I'm glad that but there's something though. It says before making the jump, he called the US-based brother to give him instructions on how to distribute his wealth. I would like to know who were the people with him when he made that call. We need to look at that area. He also said he called the younger daughter. I hope he wasn't making this call with a gun to his head.
Yeah.
Yes, this case needs to be very well investigated. For now, I'm not convinced. Because he was doing quite well. It is said that his first marriage didn't work. That's not enough to kill yourself. He had married somebody else and had a daughter. They had said that he was married to a Caucasian. I don't like when newspapers use this kind of word, was married to a Caucasian. He was married. Do you understand? Okay. So, anyway, we don't know if it was suicide, though, because we need to leave that door also open. It also shows you that the rich also cry, and that wealth and success sometimes are never satisfying. It also shows also that we need to place a premium on mental health, and we need to be our brother's keeper in these situations. That don't think that there are many people now living in Lekki, some even have Rolls Royce cars. They can't buy 2 liters of petrol inside the car. Some of them are owing heavily. So you need to be your brother's keeper. If you are his babe, you need to look out for him. If you are the guy, you need to look out for the babe. If you are friends, you need to keep an eye on people around you that you claim to love. Love is not just money, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
There is a phrase that I hate to hear from people.
What's that?
Sometimes when maybe when I'm asked for something, say, Jimmy Joe, and I say things are tough, and somebody says that, BTK not like your own, that we are not talking about people like you. What do you mean? If you are distressed, you are distressed. If you are broke, you are broke. MK Abiola could be broke, could have been broke in his lifetime, or Dadola can be broke. If you are broke, you are broke. Do you understand what I'm saying? We shouldn't measure things in just, we always measure success in cars, in this, in that. There are some things, when it comes to the issues of the mind, there are very little parameters that come to play at that level in terms of physical things. So we need to, and it's sad. May Nick's soul rest in peace. Nice guy, very, very nice guy. Like, I met him about 4 or 5 years ago or so, and had him on my program. And, yes.
I have Demola on Facebook. Demola says, JD, mental health doesn't work like that. He might have looked accomplished and happy on the outside, but fighting his demons on the inside.
So why is this a mental health doesn't work like that?
Like when you, I think you're saying that he could have had gun pointed to his head or something.
No. You can't take away the suspicion of murder. He didn't listen well. I first of all laid down all my suspicions.
Yes, you now said,
and then
yes,
said that
yes.
it could be a mental health. You need to be open-minded.
Yes, you have to.
If you've read enough of Hadley Chase novels and so on and so forth.
You know, my dad gave me a huge box of Hadley Chase.
Hadley Chase, beautiful. Where have you read them? If you don't want them, give me a bag. You find him and fix him. But I'm sure my 8 friends will remember Albani, all these things. We read a lot of these books. It's a pity that reading is no longer part of our culture. Instead, it's computer games. But it's a new world that we are coming into. So
people are making money from just playing video games.
Yes, they play video games, but reading enriches the brain. That's why you look at a lot of things that are said in the social media sometimes. You wonder where it's coming from. Reading enriches the brain. It opens up. Look at this. As soon as this story came out, I went back to the 60s to my Hadley Chase days to bring out the analysis for this.
For this one?
For this, yes.
Nice.
Open-minded.
Very nice.
That's why I said somebody could be with him. I said, oh yeah, call your daughter and call. They create a scenario of suicide. Okay, it might not necessarily be. And something tells me it's very unlikely that if you commit suicide, you'll be jumping, except maybe it's like a 35-story building. Then you can maybe do that, but I don't know. Let's be open-minded. Let's see what they come up with. But may Nick so rest in perfect peace.
Amen to that. Let's go to page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Tinubu will get approval for a new presidential jet if he makes request, Senate.
These people, if they should just let's leave the issue of this jet and add it to some of the problems that we will solve in future when the need or when the time comes. It will be one of the things that we'll probably solve in future. But I don't like this ding-dong that is being played with us. The Akpabio said he didn't see what he said yesterday, but he has said that he said the Senate has not received such a request. And he said the request, when it comes, will be looked into, especially considering the death. This is the part that got me very angry. Considering the death of the vice president of Malawi and the president of Iran. These two incidents were accidents. It had nothing to do with where do we behave as if we are not educated people? The two were accidents. The one of Iran was bad weather accidents in a mountainous area. And stop using these sentiments to do something that is just not right. They should stop it. We are not stupid. The two airline people were here the other day, Sheriff. Were you not my witness?
Yes, I was.
Did you not hear what they said?
Yes, I did.
How come the two planes have gone bad at the same time? A 20-year-old plane is not an old plane. The plane that all our elites fly into, these British Airways Virgin planes, some of them are 30, 40 years old. But they are reconfigured on the inside. The truth is that Nigeria generally, we have a warped sense of value. That's what it is. And you not play to the gallery. Hey, we don't want him to die. We don't want him to die. What is it? They should stop it. You want to buy a plane, we now understand it's your turn, it's his turn, he must get all the things, the house must be. So, because you don't want the vice president to die, that's why you renovated the house with whatever billion for him to
so that
live.
the old one will not collapse on him.
You see, first of all, the dilemma you have is that what they want to do will first of all annoy you. And the reason they give will annoy you further. Then you will not have a dilemma to say that wait a minute, do these people think that we are stupid, or is it that they themselves have not given deep thought to what they are saying? That's the kind of dilemma you will have. Who comes up with this kind of argument? It's Bayo Onanuga that started this, raising alarm. We don't want the president to die. You know, that's what the other guy too did, Kayamo. Every time there's a problem, I don't want people dying. Come on, stop it. Stop it. Let's educate our children to have very good reasoning faculties and stop playing games with it. The president wants to buy a new jet, whether it's in the budget or not, he wants to buy it. And in any case, the rumors say that the plane has already been ordered. Because the two other planes have already been put on sale. Akpabio is not even saying that he's not even saying if the technical report shows. He's not even bothered with that. He just assumes that we don't, you know, we want, whether he gets it or whether he deserves it or not, we are going to buy him a plane. He says it's not good for us to run the Senate by answering people in the social media, because the social media is garbage in, garbage out, but he used it for his election. What he's calling garbage in, garbage out, he used it for his election. I mean, how could you have run an election without the social media? We need deep thinking people. We need deep people thinking. And he said that he didn't make that statement, the statement that was credited to him, that he doesn't care about the Nigerian people and so on. He said we will approve things that will benefit the Nigerian people. Oh God, this plane does not benefit us. It doesn't benefit us. It doesn't. The money you also approve for spending on pilgrims and so on, it doesn't benefit us. You are frittering our money away, creating debts for generations to come. Where are we going to get the money to pay back? This country is...
Hamza said on Facebook, the Senate president is not on the same page with Nigerians at all.
He's not. Him particularly. He's not. And when I tie it into the story that made the rounds from that somebody was calling attention to some of the investigations of the EFCC, I begin to scratch my head and think that I have a funny feeling where the problem might be, but it's not for me to say. It's up to Nigerians. If you want to keep, you can't plant onions and expect to harvest yam. A word is enough for the wise. Yeah.
Indeed. Page 10 of the Vanguard. This really, really interesting story. Shown Imam at war over Hajj.
Sheriff, I had a dilemma over this story. The story here says, it's a very complex story, that the show reprimanded the chief imam. Are you the blood chief imam for failing to seek his permission?
Yes.
To go on Hajj.
Something now. This is the way you are looking at paper.
The name of the chief imam is Sheikh Ayilara. And the Sheikh Ayilara, however, in his response, told the Shon that you lack the power to query me now. The Shon in the query claimed that the chief imam did not inform him before he embarked on the journey. I think that before we have a bigger or larger embarrassment, the dancing governor, who I think is the governor of that state, should quickly take off his dancing shoes and step in and save us from more embarrassment. Get his attorney general to tidy up that place, and because this is the first time I'm seeing that the chief imam would have to take permission from the Oba. The query made available to Newsland yesterday was signed by the palace secretary, Tonya Ajamu, on behalf of the traditional ruler. I have my reservations about this, about the Ogbomoso, whatever it is. I have my very strong reservations. The Shon himself being a pastor, whereas as Shon, he should be the custodian of a traditional religion and practices. And I saw a video one time, they came to do some prayers for him or whatever. He deliberately looked the other way.
Oh.
If you do not believe in a traditional religion, and you have no business being an Oba, I don't know why we compromise on things like this. And what has the Oba got to do? I don't know. Let me be very careful, because I don't know. I don't know how it runs in Osun State. But this really and truly, to be honest with you, it confounds me. It says, the letter says that, I refer to the earlier query issued to you with regards to your unbecoming and reprehensible conduct as Chief Imam Agba of Ogbomoso land and the need to desist from such conduct. Is the Chief Imam, is it a traditional title?
No, it's not.
No, he said Chief Imam Agba. Is it a traditional title?
No, it's not.
You will recall that on your appointment as Chief Imam Agba of Ogbomoso land, you signed an undertaking, an agreement which you agreed will be binding on you. In the said undertaking, you unequivocally undertook to inform the Shonwo. So it's not by law, it's by agreement. You undertook to inform the Shonwo before traveling outside Osogbo. However, we have been informed that you are currently in Mecca without notifying the Shonwo. This is a clear violation of your undertaking. Secondly, you agreed not to appoint any surrogate during your tenure without the approval of His Royal. Is that what we call Obas now? His Royal Majesty. Sheriff Makobami. Let me just drop this subject. Okay, we have information that you appointed a surrogate as the acting chief imam. Would the Shonwo say, would that also apply to the Archbishop?
So what I want to understand is what has been the practice.
Whatever is the practice, what is the law? You could have a practice that's been going on. What is the law? You can only query anybody based on the law. You can't query somebody based on practice. Okay? And so the question is that, do you have a chief imam? This is a very, very touchy subject. I need some explanation on this. Because it didn't say it's a breach of the law. It says it's a breach of the undertaking. In what capacity did the sheikh himself sign an undertaking?
Why would the chief imam
sign an
undertaking for
to
what?
tell the Oba? The question is it the Oba that appointed the chief imam?
That's what I wanted. That's what I just asked. Like, is he his employer? I'd like to know.
I should ask you.
How am I supposed to know? That's Oyo State.
You are a practicing Muslim.
This one is not. This one is not about a Muslim or not. This one is about their Oyo State politics, monarchy, whatever it is that they do. You know.
Hey, what does the law say about this? What does the law say about this? I think that we should keep this story.
There's just something wrong with it. There's something wrong with this story.
We should keep this story.
If you love conversations,
where else can you get it? Then the station best in talk.
That's why education is the main thing. Once you kill education, you can control the people.
Africans just like to blame.
It's our constitution ban military from intervention in the government.
Yeah, if you want to destroy any country, kill the education. It's as simple as that.
Former terrorists who are undergoing rehabilitation are now saying that the government's promise to pay them $30,000 has failed, and for that reason, they are on the streets protesting.
Possession doesn't win you matches round.
No, but if they can't hold on to the ball, they cannot score. Another thing again is our officiating, especially in the league. Why is it that Nigerian referees are not selected for CAF tournaments or CAF matches?
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.